Hello, beautiful people. Psychic Debbie here. Hope you're having a great evening, morning, or afternoon, whenever you're watching me. I want to say hi to a bunch of my peeps over there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My nose is itching already, so excuse me. If the power goes out, because I know that they're taking power off in California, we got so many fires here. I don't think it is going to hit us down here in Oxnard, but if it does, that's why. Excuse me. So, thank you for connecting. I'm talking about ley lines and UFOs. Isn't he a cute little alien guy there? My husband did put him in there. He's pretty cute. So yes, I'm talking about ley lines and UFOs. And people are going to go, what is ley lines? Well, to me, I will kind of give you a description down the road here, and I'm going to talk about it. Everything that I'm talking about doesn't mean that it's verbatim or etched in stone. It's just my perception of what I heard from spirit, from the world, information from different people in different directions. So you take it and whatever resonates with you, take. If it doesn't, let it go. And I'm going to probably say some words that I'm probably not speaking them right, but it's okay. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Ley lines is like a crystal. It has a beautiful vibrations on it. See these lines that are here in the States? I was trying to do a world one, but I couldn't find it. Couldn't find one that they would let me use. So ley lines are crystal vibrations coming off these grids, intersection where higher vortexes are, okay? 2,500 years ago, Plato says that the earth is made of these grid lines, shapes, and called them platonic solids, okay? And he said that we have 12 platonic phases, we have 20 points, we have 120 equal triangles, and that we have 15 equators that would cut the earth through these ley lines, through this earth grid, energy grid, earth grid, ley lines, whatever you want to call them, world grids, okay? But I'm going to be I'm talking about how UFOs are connected to it also, okay, what we can use with them. Next, I will do a video on the chakra points of the ley lines of the earth grid. That's a whole nother video, okay? But this is talking about the ley lines, about them, and how it's connected to aliens or UFOs or entities of another dimensional space, okay? Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for saying hi. Okay, the ancient people around the world use these points, these energy points, these ley lines, in the world for energy vibrational vortexes to build their monuments, pyramids, and temples. If you notice that a lot of temples, most all temples are at a ley line or at a point where two ley lines are connected together. Okay? You use this energy they used to use this energy. They said years and years ago, like with the pyramids, that there was certain powers with this grid or these ley lines, that they were so powerful that if we could attune to them and attune to the vibration, that it would be able to even lift all those boulders or those blocks or whatever you want to call it, those stones that created the pyramids, that created the Aztec temples, that created the spiritual spaces that we see around the world. They were saying that the power of this grid was so powerful. Like I said, it could build the temples. It could help create and do the power and getting you to other dimensional spaces. Okay, so maybe we need to connect to that grid again. Maybe we need to look at these vibrational points. Okay, so using this energy for worship, maybe the aliens told the ancestors to plant the monuments at these ley lines or the spiritual grid, because it would help you with the power of wealth and happiness and health and joy and love, all the assets that we're desiring or wanting to bring to us. But I feel like maybe the aliens or entities or whatever you want to call them told us to build these temples or these spiritual places in these ley lines and these vortexes, because they could power into them and give us power and give us information, okay? Or even changing our vibration around us, the people, places, and the things on this earth plane, okay? So also, these points that are on these ley lines, there is always numerous of UFO sightings. So like Salt Lake City has a very major ley line point vortex, and there's a lot of UFO sightings there. Or Sedona, a lot of UFO sightings there. Mount Shasta, all these places that have ley line points that connect together. There's always entities, spiritual entities, angels, UFOs, entities from other dimensional places, lizards, fairies, all that are usually seen at these points where the ley lines are, probably because it can change the vibration, the frequency, the sound of water in that space. And if you're attuned to it, then you would be able to see and connect there also. I hope this makes sense to everybody. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. So, okay. Also, okay, so a place that in Montana, when I lived in Montana, and I brought a lot of my retreat people there, it was called the Garden of 1,000 Buddhas. I met an alien there. That's another long story, but there's a lot of UFOs. Even when they made that temple, there is 1,000 Buddhas temples there at this huge temple in Montana. They picked that place because it was, again, on a ley line point. It was in a vortex. It was connected to extreme Buddha temple power there, that they were saying that they were connecting to that, to the stars, to the earth, to the water, so that new information could come into there. You could channel information. You could connect in that space. I did. I connect to, I don't know what you want to call it, an entity. I even had a client with me going, okay, we're seeing this person. And they were even saying, yes, we are from another dimensional space. And it was pretty cool. So these ley lines are very, very powerful. And I feel like we haven't even learned how to connect to them, or how to turn them on and turn them off, make them even more powerful. You know, maybe that's what we need. So Riley says, I always wondered why I don't hear much about UFOs in Seattle area, Puget Sound. And I've heard of a lot of places up there, especially past Seattle, going towards Vancouver and all that stuff. You know, I've heard of a lot of UFOs there, that there's sightings and that there's even videos of it. Yeah. So Dragon says, where can we get a map of ley lines? Just type it in and it will show you like these maps here. Okay. Does a ley line have a portal? Yes, a lot of them do. And that's why I'm talking about like Salt Lake City up here. Salt Lake City, Sedona, Skinwalker Ranch, the 1,000 Buddhas. I feel like there's a lot of portals, a lot of other dimensional spaces that you could walk in and walk out of in these ley lines. Yes. So the aliens say, they say also that the aliens feed off of the grid lines. So maybe that when the UFOs or the aliens or entities come over here, that they're feeding off of this power grid. They're feeding off, maybe like gas, you know, like getting gas, and that their machines, maybe there's some kind of vibration, frequency, sound, or water. We don't know. Kind of like on a crystal, we didn't realize how much power is in a crystal, right? Now they're using it for computers and all that stuff. So I feel like a lot of times these ley lines and these portals that I think it was T Rose that was saying that they could be connected to that. They could be filling up this maybe vibration from it, and we're just not seeing it. Michael says, I think it's a collective thought, Debbie. Yes, maybe. Carol says, do ley lines have anything to do with weather? I think they do. Because, again, I feel like we're not connected, not even close to connected to all the power, the vibration, the frequency, the sound, and water, and whatever other elements there are there that could connect to that. Do you know what I'm saying? So that I feel like it powers it in. Just like we have Tornado Alley. Is it because really of the wind? They say it's because of the wind, but maybe there's something in the land that is in a vortex there, or the Bermuda Triangle, or Stonehenge, or all these things that connect with the weather or going into another dimensional space, right? Another dimensional space. Gloria, falling angels. I'm not exactly sure what you're asking there. Okay. At many of these points, Many temples or spiritual signs written on stone, wondering if there's a spiritual code. So a lot of times around all over the world where these vortexes are, or these points are, or where these ley lines are, there you, like in Arizona, there's a lot of writing on the wall, and that there's numbers and there's grids in Egypt and Africa, South America, all over the world. I mean, Australia, there is codes, and maybe there's a spiritual code that will get us connected to this power that is connected to these grids or these ley lines. I really feel like that we just have the tip of a pin of knowledge of what these ley lines are presenting or giving to us, right? Lori says portals are more common than people think. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can squint. I don't squint. So, and I feel like if we can get this decoding going, maybe it would help the world, help with the weather, help with the bring peace and understanding and knowing and knowledge to people. We don't know what's all in these codes, right? So maybe these codes that are in the vortexes or even in the scrolling of the walls, there's the art on there and there's writing on the walls. Maybe there's some kind of code, kind of like a computer, right? We have a computer, but if we don't have the number to get in, we can't look at all the information that would be there. Look at all the information that would be there. Okay. So there's so many ancient sites that are connected to these grid points and the constellation of the sky. So the Orion Belt, one of the most famous of the three pyramids in the Giza Plateau, right? We just had the Lion's Gate, where the stars, okay? And why I'm bringing that up is because of the Orion Belt. And let me see if I'm going to pick the right number here. In Arizona, there is temples, there is ruins that are exactly like the Orion Belt in Arizona. I went to Canyon de Chelly and had a massive opening there, and that's the one that I did the healing with and stuff. I have a video on there where I did the healing on the Indian there. That's a whole nother story, but Canyon de Chelly, very, very powerful. If you've never been there, go there. So isn't it funny that the Orion Belt and the temples or the castles or the places, the temples or the pyramids that people built, the Indians, or who knows who built them, in Arizona is exactly the same pattern, is exactly the same thing. So it makes you wonder if there's that connection to that grid, right? Connection to that grid. So someone said they like my things. There are all kinds of maps about these lines. Yes, Michael, there is definitely a bunch of maps of these lines. Okay, the ley lines, the reason that they're called ley lines is because of a man called Alfred Watkins from England. He has a book that he printed in 1925 called The Old Straight Track. And I'm probably saying these names wrong, so if you're from England, please forgive me. So Herefordshire, I'm not sure, England, in 1921, he was riding his horse through the country, and he noticed that ancient temples, spiritual vortexes, and even churches were all built in a straight line. So he called them ley lines. He believed that these ley lines were used as communication. Here we go. So that's his belief. Communication of graphic markings for sacred sites. He believed that these ley lines were mapping, but believed the entities or aliens would present these power grids to the people many centuries ago. Because you can see these ley lines when you are above the earth is when you see the ley lines. It's like when they're saying there was no flying crafts then, right? So how do we know that from like Sedona to New York that there's a ley line that goes straight across? How do we know about that? The only way you can see these ley lines is from being above and seeing it in. Many scientists believe that these ley lines are magnetic in nature and that we can tap into these powers and use them in ways that we've never even could think of or dream of. I feel that we need to connect to those, go to these spiritual sites get the download, connecting, maybe getting information, and then we all connect. So say Michael goes to one, or Connie goes to one, or Gloria goes to one, or Linda goes to one, and then we group together and go, what information did you get? What download did you get? What load? And connect it together. I feel like we all have certain kinds of information of downloading that we're not putting them together. We're maybe one piece of the puzzle, right? And some of these ley lines are giving us this information that can help the earth be saved through the weather, through the climate change, through the fires, through the earthquakes, the volcanoes, all that kind of stuff. Maybe even creating another dimensional space, or creating this earth plane in another planet. Who knows all the information? Okay, so they also believe that these ley lines are or were used by air navigation alien aircraft. Okay, so I'm going to, in Denmark, is it Denmark? Yes, in Denmark, they have these fortresses, a Viking fortress, right? And they were built in the 900 AD, and people can't believe how precise these fortresses are. Again, you would have to be probably above to see what the fortresses are doing. They again believe that the aliens, or it doesn't mean that they have to be the green little Martian guys. You know what I mean? They could be other entities. Show them how to build these four. If you notice, there's 4 zones. Okay, they're precise. The zones are so precise that they are in the direction of east, west, north, and south. They are so precise. Geometric design and engineering is like true north, true south, true east, true west. Okay, so they also, again, we believe we receive the information from higher vibrational beings. Okay, so in Denmark, and my husband did this this mapping here, so thank you for my Roy Toy for that. In 1982, it was founded that 3 other Viking fortresses were built in the same design and on the same ley line. If you go from here all the way down to here, if you took a ruler and you did the geometric thing, it's perfectly in line. How could you do that being on Earth, being on the ground? You'd have to be above. So someone else is talking about crop circles. Yes, exactly. The same thing. It's the energetic connection, the information. I feel that we've got so much more information that we can download. And when I'm doing readings for people, go to my site, psychicdebbie.com. When I do readings for people, I'm telling them all the time that you're downloading information, and maybe there's information that it's part of the puzzle, that you're getting downloaded certain information, healing. It doesn't mean that it has to be information. It could be transformation. It could be a healing. It could be the mathematics. It could be the Gates thing. It could be whatever. But we're having to fit all these puzzles together. So doesn't it make you kind of weird? Kind of look at it like, wow, look at this line, right? Goes right across. Okay. So these 4 fortresses, if you follow this ley line from here all the way down, I'm not going to say the names because I would probably screw them up. It would go straight to Greece, to Oracle Adelphi. And I know I've had a past life in Oracle Adelphi, and I will talk about that in another video. But it will go straight to Oracle Adelphi in Greece, and it also goes to the pyramid. Again, ley line. How would you know? And look at these beautiful, powerful places. Oracle Adelphi, where Apollo reside, and we had the knowing and the truth come in there, right? The spiritual knowings that it knew the future, which of course there is no time. So again, maybe that's a power grid that we can connect into and get all this information. Doesn't it make you wonder? Hello, it makes you wonder. Okay. Lori says, I think it's an exchange. We give to the lines, the line gives back. Same goes with UFOs. It's an exchange. We upgrade. Gaia upgrades so far out, but not to me. Okay. So it's so Shelter says it's really fascinating with the continents shifting. Also, they're still in line. Yes, exactly. So it makes you wonder. I feel that we don't have all the information, right? We don't have all the information on it. So I don't know. Nope. Sorry. My buttons. I'm pushing the wrong buttons. Why isn't this going away? Okay. But okay. So sorry, this Denmark one is kind of stuck up there. Okay, so if you take the line, like I said, from Oracle Delphi to the pyramids, the scientists question if these ley lines points was recharging vortexes or recharging the high vibrational beings or the crafts that people are flying in. That it's kind of like airline, like an airport. You go to the pyramid and maybe they landed on top of the pyramid and got recharged. Or maybe they went to Oracle Delphi and got information there and got recharged. But I feel like it's not just recharging of things. I feel like it's recharging entities. I feel like it's recharging us, recharging living things. I feel like it recharges the weather. I feel like it's, like I said, it's connected to the frequency, the vibration, the sound, and water. Okay, so it's that connection. It's that connection. Okay. Okay, get rebooted. All right. I feel like they're magnetic. There's a code. Okay, so like in Cusco, Peru, they feel there's ruins there, and they feel like that is the navel of the earth, the navel of the earth. And so that may be the massive connection. Like that's the center core, they're saying, is in Peru. But if we go from Peru and we follow the ley lines, where does it go to? The pyramids, Oracle Delphi, to England, the fortresses. It all extends from there. Crazy, right? Let me see what some people are saying here. Does these ley lines come from inside the earth or from outer space? I feel like it's both. So I think it's crazy. So how do you see the lines? I don't feel like you can see them because there's the mapping of them, but I feel like you see the lines, Carol, from the buildings and the spiritual places. But I also feel like you're going to feel them. You're going to feel them. Feel that connection to it. Okay. So also there's a ley line in Mount Shasta where people say that there's chakra points like Mount Shasta. Let's see if I can find it up here. Nope. I'm going the opposite. It's over here somewhere. Mount Shasta, they're saying, is like the root chakra. Again, I'll have to do a video on all the chakra points. But again, it's connected and it's on a ley line. It's on this grid. It's the vortex. And how many UFOs do we see there? We see tons of UFOs there, right? We see entities. We see people have said that they had vortexes there, that they gone in and gone out, then came back and we're like, okay, 2 hours we're gone. So again, is it a vortex? Is it another dimensional space? Is it a different frequency? Kind of like a radio that you connect, you go there and you tune into it. If you're ready to see, feel, and sense this, and that you're in that vibrational space, then maybe you get that information. Maybe that's how you tune in, is by being in a higher vibrational space, mind, body, spirit way. Okay, if you're into the negative, what people call negative, because I believe that there is no negative or positive, but if you're in a lower vibration, you can't tune into Mount Shasta, you can't tune into the connection, because just people saying Mount Shasta, that there's even the Bigfoot guys there, people see that there. So is he from another dimensional space, or is he in a different vortex, so that when you're in a vibration of attuning to it, that you get to see him and connect with him? I mean, there's so many questions, right? This is just bringing more and more and more questions. Pleiadians are there, right? Yes, they are. So, okay. So you can work with this dimensional spaces. There is also the place, the Skinwalker Ranch, and someone who was talking about that. They were telling me about that today too. And I've seen the show. I'm sure you guys have seen the show. And the guy that talks on there, I met him at the Alien Con, and that is on a ley line also. And and there's this mound there, and they're having lots of UFOs and different kinds of entities and energies and lights and everything coming off of there too. So again, how do we not know that that's not a portal, or that they say that alien craft even goes into into the mound there, just like in Sedona or just like in Montana. I've seen it in the mountains there. So is it a certain frequency, vibration, sound, and water, and that it being on the ley line, maybe because it's charging, it's kind of like an extension cord, maybe that we plug into there, and then we plug into there, we plug into there, but the main source is in Peru. Or maybe one of the main sources is in Egypt, the pyramids, or maybe one of the main sources in Machu Picchu. Do you know what I mean? So, and again, you got to see them from above. So there's so much more information that I don't know about, that probably you don't know about. But if we could get everybody to start downloading and connecting the information together, maybe we can get the code so that we can connect to this vibration of the ley lines. I really feel that the ley lines are very important to us, and that they're trying to give us a message, and that they're trying to help the world and help us in whatever way, with the climate change, with the energy, with the rain, with the water, with the sun, with the health, with the love, joy, happiness, health, wealth, and prosperity, all of it in spirituality. I feel like there is codes and connection there. It's like we got to stop being afraid. The world needs to stop being afraid and start connecting to the entities, the UFOs, the dimensional lines, these portals, right? Allow us. Resistance is not going to bring it to you, right? I always say that to my clients when I do readings for them. If you're in resistance, if you have a blockage, you're not going to allow the information to come to you. Okay? God, there's so many people saying stuff. Do the ley lines match up with the areas where there are sacred places? Yes. The places where people have seen Virgin Mary? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm just going to use Sedona as an example because that's in America. But yeah, how many people have seen angels or entities or aliens or UFOs? Yes, yes. In Sedona, a lot of people are connected to angels there. So the one that's in France, yes. Saint Bernadette, ley line. It's all these sacred places are in ley lines. Is HARP messing up the ley lines? I'm not exactly sure what you're saying there, Marilyn. Okay, so they are very important. I feel like they are very, very, very important. I felt ley lines in Boulder, Colorado, a portal entrance into Esset Park, Colorado. Oh, I love it there. So pretty there. So pretty there. I love it. Okay, so you can work with the ley lines. I'm going to give you exercise that you can do. If you want to do it, great. If you don't, fine. So I say take a crystal and connect magnetic, because it's a magnetic. There's a lot of magnetic. And you know me, I do things to computers, I do things to phones, I do things to all the time. So connecting magnetically with like a crystal like this, or even just a smaller crystal or whatever is a grid, connecting and going to the power. So I would focus on one spiritual place. So say it's where Saint Bernadette or Machu Picchu or Sedona or the Stonehenge. Connect to one of them and program the vibration into one of your crystals. Don't use a crystal that has already been programmed with something else. I would say it would be a clean, fresh crystal that you have cleaned, you maybe, did a little prayer on it or cleansed it or put it under the moon, and then say, I want you to connect to the vibration of, say, Stonehenge. Connect to that, okay? So you could either connect it and say, show me information in my mind's eye. And if you're in fear, worry, and doubt, it's not going to work, okay? So if you're saying, well, Debbie, I'm in fear to do that, then you're not going to be able to connect. You're going to have to be in the high vibrational space, be in a space of where there's no left or right, up and down, wrong or right? Be in a space of no judgment, no fear, no restrictions. Connecting your crystal, you can use your crystal and in your mind's eye, or even vibrationally, or feel the vibration of like Stonehenge and putting it into your crystal. And then maybe even putting it on your third eye, and do it before you go to bed and say, what information do I need to connect to that vibration or that healing modality or that prosperity modality or that love modality that you're desiring to program into your crystal. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So Carol says, I believe that the vibrations can cause vertigo, brain problems with the magnetic field. I don't feel that it can do that because that is a lower vibrational thought, feeling, or an emotion, Carol. So if you're in a higher vibrational space where there is no left or right, wrong or right, up and down, then that can't happen. Then that can't happen. Can you protect yourself? But again, when you say, I got to protect myself, then you're giving yourself something to be protective of, right? So Marilyn says HARP is using military weapon that changes the weather using high frequencies. I feel like the vortexes, the earth is too powerful for that they can't do that. I feel like that would shut down. I feel like they could tell you that they're doing that, but I don't feel like they're doing that. Okay, so call on the ley line, infuse the crystal, and ask to see or hear or feel the information that you're desiring to feel, hear, or see. And if you're in any fear, do not do that exercise. Do not do that exercise. Then, like Carol was saying, it could cause vertigo and make you feel, something's on me. Then you would have to do the Lord's Prayer and, cleanse yourself. So if you're in a high vibrational place, you're ready to hear the information. You'll get the signs. You'll get the motion or information. The people will come to you and all of a sudden start saying things to you. Or maybe you'll connect with somebody else that has part of the puzzle, and that we start connecting and that we can figure this out, right? Because I really don't feel that we have all the information, okay? So I'm past the time. It goes so fast. We could talk about this forever, right? But I want to give you blessings and smiles. And if you desire a reading from me, like I said, go to my website, psychicdebbie.com, because in September and October, I'm going to be doing some ghost hunts, so I won't have some time. There will be a couple weeks there that I'll be gone, and I'll be doing ghost hunts in Tombstone and the Glen Tavern and in Minnesota. So there will be times that I won't be able to do readings for you. So bring them on now while I can do them for you. I hope this kind of gives you some questions, answer some questions, but give you more questions. And let's connect. Let's download. Let's get this information together. Let's get together. Let's get together. Yeah. And let's, do the puzzle together. I would love more and more information of this. If you know of more information or a book to read or connecting, please comment down below. I love. Thank you so much for commenting below. It helps a lot. Please subscribe. And if you want to donate, Michelle, thank you so much for the donation. If you want to donate, you can go to my website, psychicdebbie.com, or even on the YouTube and click on PayPal there. I want to give you blessings and smiles, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.